From being around the age of 3, I have always had the luxury of witnessing the paranormal. I say luxury, but I could rephrase that. I would say it started when I would supposedly speak to a middle-aged woman who would sit at the end of my bed each night along with her rather large, white-haired dog. Apparently, we would talk for hours on end. My parents were well aware of her presence but never told me to hush, considering she would always send me off to sleep. I was told years later that she was my dad's mom, my grandma, who died in '89 from Hodgkin's disease, and her dog, the Newfoundland by the name of Ralph. Getting a little older now, and my house had been redecorated, meaning I got the bigger bedroom, as I was the eldest daughter out of 4 brothers and a sister. I was over the moon to say the least. That didn't last for long. That bedroom gave me the worst nights I can recall so far of the 15 years I have lived. It is only now that I realize that is why my parents converted the house, to get out of that room. My first experience in that room was when I was around the age of 9. I had an awful nightmare, which had consisted of me being locked in a shop, that had all the lights off and the shutters were down. I rattled the shutters again and again, crying out for help, only to wake up and see a face on the ceiling smiling at me. In order to ignore it, I turned onto my side. However, in my room there was a staircase that led to my parents' room, and under those stairs, there was a further extension in the wall, where I usually dumped my teddies. On this occasion, I saw a black figure standing in that extension. I screamed for help, which resulted in me not sleeping in there for quite a while. Fast forward a couple of years and we had moved house. Unfortunately for me, I had to share a room with my sister, which was bad news to hear. For the first few months, nothing out of the ordinary happened, only a few bumps in the night where an object would fall off a shelf, which we would excuse as the wind. Then, the night before my 11th birthday, I had woken around 2 in the morning with a feeling of being watched. When I looked to the corner of the room, I saw a woman, with long curly black hair, dressed like she had belonged to the 80s, standing there, looking at me. Of course, I froze, but didn't feel malicious or like I had from the face on the wall in my old house. Soon after, she disappeared. Once again, I found out that woman was my grandma, as my dad had described her to wear a pink cardigan when she was alive, which is what she wore when I saw her. After that, it was the same routine of things falling off shelves and me waking up around 4:30 every morning, which were all dismissed as just simple occurrences that were not to be taken notice of. Now 4 years on and things have started up again. My mum has woke up with the feeling of being held down, unable to breathe, while seeing a dark black figure peering into her room. After a while, it stopped, but is now unable to sleep without the light on. She has also stated that while I am at school and she is alone in the house, she will hear heavy coughing come from my room, of which sounds like a little girl, which I have heard myself when I have been alone in my house as well. I am well aware this sounds very far-fetched, but even my parents have stated that growing up, they have witnessed these sorts of occurrences. It's a shame that I'm the only one out of all my parents' 6 children to be able to see what I can, but it makes life all that more exciting.